because that is the next generation who will be replacing me and others. So if you don't give them the opportunity to shine and show their leadership in those meetings, you will never find out the next leaders.
It's amazing. I love that. Welcome back to another episode of the SaaS Sales Performance Podcast. I'm delighted to continue our Chief Commercial, Chief Revenue Officer thought leadership series on how do you build productive and resilient teams. Now, today we're joined by another dynamic guest in the hot seat, who is Raouf Mhenni, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at SBS. Raouf's an accomplished commercial leader with extensive experience driving sales, partnerships, and business growth across global markets. And Raouf has a sharp focus on accelerating revenues and go-to-market strategies, and also building high-performing teams, which is a topic that we talk so much about on this show. In his current role at SBS, Raouf leads and oversees the commercial function, shaping the sales strategy, enhancing customer relationships. And in this episode, we're going to dive into his own approach and learnings around how to build productive and resilient teams of his own. Raouf, huge welcome onto the podcast.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to have the discussion with you.
Awesome. And you're joining us from sunny Paris today.
It is actually. It's very sunny with the sun reflecting on all those nice towers in La Défense.
Raouf, I know today's theme is a topic that is close to your heart, given the fact that you've built so many commercial organizations in your career. For those listening or reading this, who haven't perhaps connected with you in the finance world, help us understand a little bit more context in terms of your journey and how did you arrive at the CCO role at SBS?
Yeah, thank you. Long story. It's getting old. Started with my first job was pre-sales job. And I do remember my discussion with my boss at the time. He told me, listen, it's a second role. When it works, it's because of the sales who did a great job. When it does not work, we have somebody to blame. It's the pre-sales person. So that was my first one. It didn't last more than 6 months and I jumped into a sales role. I don't know if it was because I was looking for the primary role, but I do remember that my first year, I overachieved my quota. And I think that changed completely my view of my career. And I start believing that my only job is being sales. Learned a lot. I had the opportunity to work with different cultures, different geographies, different companies. The thing in common in all this was the passion about interacting with the clients. I had the opportunity then in my career to go back to what I would call the back office, like managing product strategies and R&Ds. It didn't take more than 2 years and I was back again to sales and marketing operations. So 4 years ago, I was working for the HR and payroll business and leading sales marketing operations for Europe, Middle East and Africa for Sopra HR, which is one of the subsidiaries of the group of Sopra. And I was called to work on SBS, the Sopra Banking Software. At the time, I had no clue what banking is, and I was barely able to read my bank statement and still arguing with my wife why they are charging us every month that amount that we don't understand. That was my story with the banking. Since for now almost 4 years and a half, I'm living a blast. I'm learning every single day, the retail banking, the wealth management, the loans management. So behind the sales mat, there is the business that we're doing and the people we're meeting every day. And what makes the journey amazing is every single individual you're meeting in London, in Paris, in Madrid, in Milan, telling you his own story, his own problems. And you go home by the end of the day with dozens of stories, but also dozens of ideas to get back tomorrow and propose solutions. So that is the journey, and that what makes me waking up every morning with a big smile and saying, hey, another day.
I love it. Yeah, it's just a great philosophy that you've got, Raouf. And for those who are less familiar with Sopra and the SBS solution, maybe just very quickly help us understand the context of the market that you're in, but also the key problem that you solve for your customers.
Sure. SBS is a major software player in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, but also in North America, providing two types of solutions. The first one is for retail banking. So we're providing core banking systems, but also the engagement layer, which is the daily banking. So what we call the digital banking suite So end-to-end, front-to-back solutions for retail banking. We are also providing the specialized finance, like auto finance, for front-to-back solutions as well. So we deliver solutions for those two businesses across Europe and North America. We do have more presence in auto finance and specialized finance in the US, while we are one of the leaders in retail banking, especially when it comes to core banking, but also loan servicing, which is one of the most important activities for retail banks, either for mass markets or corporate as well.
Yeah, so a really interesting business and really interesting sector. And obviously you spoke about the privilege of being able to travel to all of the financial hubs around the world and spend time with your clients. Let's talk about your experience of building the team, Raouf. Obviously you and I are recording this episode in February of 2025. There's so much change happening all around us with regards to technology, and we'll come on to talk about AI and the implications for AI. But the sentiment that we're hearing from lots of commercial leaders in the market at the moment is one of overwhelming need for resilience from their teams to deal with that change. And as you said, keep coming back the next day and showing up. Help us understand the journey you've been on with your current team, and how do you think about that process of building a resilient organization and team?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Matt. I'm looking at you asking the question and saying it is maybe the most difficult one that we should answer. Over the last 20 years, I've been building and developing sales and marketing teams. Over the last 20 years and till today, even with the AI, there is some basics. To build a team, first, you need to hire the people, onboard them, and then engage them. And I think that the three basics are still valid. Now, we're doing hiring differently than what we used to do 20 years. I'm going to get back to this one. We're onboarding differently as well. And the engagement of day to day is different as well. Let me maybe share with you what I used to do 20 years ago. Hiring, I don't believe that 20 years ago we had that many headhunters. You publish a hiring advertisement in any newspaper online, and you're going to get 50, 60 application, with your admin or alone. You go through them, you get the interviews, you hire the right people. Onboarding was so easy. The onboarding of sales was the same that onboarding any other employee, which is give him the badge, show him the restaurant, and invite him for the first meal, and then they will learn as we go. That's how it worked. And then the engagement was money. If you have a great compensation plan, like commission for sales, people will stay around. Are we doing the same today? Yes, we're still hiring, we're still onboarding, we're still engaging, but not the same way. Hiring, there's a war outside. There's a real war on talent. Everybody is trying to get the best sales. We used years ago to hire sales who have a network, people who know the clients. So at the time, and even before 20 years ago, people going from Oracle to Microsoft to SAP to HP to IBM and Sun Microsystems and others, because you have a portfolio of clients, so you have a strong network, the 15 CIOs that are hiring. So when I'm hiring that person, I'm hiring with him the network. So I'm making sure that he has direct access to those people so that he can sell the products. Today, that won't work because nobody knows anybody, and we're not anymore into that strong relationship between the buyers and the personal relationship between the buyer and the seller. We are more into agnostic to person. We're talking process of procurement and process to sell, and we need to get those to sync up. We used to onboard people the easy way. You come next to my office and we're going to do the first meetings together. I'm going with you to first client meetings. Then we're going to do the proposals together. Today you go into an e-learning when you're home, and the first week you did 15 hours of tiring video and taken notes all over the places. By Friday, you're up and running. You didn't even do one meeting with a client, and we deem that you're good because huge amount of data and information is today digested into media that we can consume. And money is not enough to engage people. It's not only about commission. We need to get people motivated to work on AI, for example, to work on ERPs, to work on cloud computing. So we are with the generation, Matt, the new generation has preferences. We used to pick the sales job because we love sales. Today, we pick the sales job because we love selling computing or selling cars or selling furniture. I do remember I was younger than now, and out of 100 salesperson, there is maybe 20 or 25 that really appreciate the domain they're working on. The rest are doing the job because it's a great job to make money. Today, there is no way you can hire people and engage them and make them wake up every morning motivated just because of the commission. They need more than that. More than that is the intellectual comfort they're going to have talking and living around a business, a field, a subject that they like. So those are the challenges and the major changes that we saw in the market. What we're doing, what I believe. One, I'm using a lot referrals in hiring. I think that when we are in the company and we know what's going on and we like what we're doing, it's easier for us to talk to, whoever, brother-in-law, a friend of a friend, and try to attract. Those are the best hiring ever because people are coming for people. People, they're coming because they've been told, not by the hiring manager or by the HR, but somebody who has no interest, no hooks, but to get you into his environment.
But Raouf, quick question on that one, because referrals is for sure, great tactic. How do you think about the longevity of referrals in terms of, I've seen this with other leaders. You use referrals to get you from say 50 to 100, but then eventually that well starts to sort of run a bit dry. Have you experienced that?
Actually, the behavior is that one, what you're discovering, because it goes down at one point of time. But it's not the only channel for hiring. What I'm saying is the best ones are those, but unfortunately, there's not the largest channel to convey hiring. But the ones that come through referrals usually have the longevity, are the ones who onboard quickly, who are happy, and they usually use the people they know in the company as mentor or as coach to survive complex organization, to navigate internally, and so on and so forth. So not only they're good when they come, but they're better when they onboard, because their onboarding is shorter than anything else, because they will be told everything by the people who brought them over. So yeah, that is what we experimented. And then when it comes to onboarding, we have the 360. We're lucky in SBS that we are a very agile and open organization. So a salesperson will have the opportunity to meet with the R&D, which is not obvious in other companies where you're hired in London and the R&D is in India, so you need a trip to do it. And today, with Teams and communication, you can meet anyone, anywhere, all over the places. So that is something that changes as well, the onboarding. It gives the salesperson more than this is the catalog of product, this is your segment, go and sell. No, let's take time. Let us tell you how the colleagues in development are doing, in engineering are doing. Let's meet with a couple of product managers. And it's not kind of only in-personal video training. No, you're talking to the person who will tell you more about why he designed that product, what problem in the market is that product is solving. And by the end of the call, with a big smile, say, hey, reach out whenever you have a question. Wow, that makes a difference. So the onboarding is not about giving the badge and showing him the restrooms in the office and the kitchen. No, it's make him meet valuable people that make him feel safe. I'm not alone here. Sales is tough. But guess what? 2 weeks later, there is like 15 people who offered me to help. I feel safe. I'm going about it. And then money. Definitely. Before you ask the question, Matt, yes, you need to give decent commission. Sales is about money. It won't change. It was the case 30 years ago, 10 years ago. It will be the case 10 years from now. So yes, but that is the minimum. That is standard. Given a decent competitive commission is a standard. It is not the extra mile. The extra mile will be how can we make the journey of our sales people enjoyable? How are we making them going home, telling their partners, spouses and husbands and partners, some of what happened during the day? It cannot be, I was in a meeting and it was a tough meeting and I had a no and the client didn't buy, or it cannot be, yes, I won the deal. Because between starting, winning or losing, there's a lot that happens. And if we want to make that between enjoyable, we should think about other ways of making the salespeople interesting. And here I have 3 areas. One is learning. Learning is very important. There is no anymore for intermediate with people salespeople who are not able to articulate clearly clients' problems, understand the implication, the business impact, and so on and so forth. The second is joy. It's fun. If there is no enjoyable environment, there is no fun in the environment, it becomes boring and it becomes intense for people at the mental level. So we need to create some fun. And the third is, yes, there is a career for a salesperson as well. Salesperson, when he grows up, he does not become an older salesperson. It's not the way. It's not fair. I mean, we say when you're a consultant, you start as a junior, then you're a consultant, then you're a senior, then you're a manager, then you're a